Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We're streaming live now, and yeah, we're doing the daily live stream, the political talks or whatever. I'm gonna actually have a podcast guest this week. That's one thing I wanted to talk about. And yeah, the actual guest will be my friend. He's a black guy, and he's a Trump supporter. He used to be like a Biden supporter or whatever. So, and he's gonna do like a 30-minute to an hour long little podcast on the live stream. We'll share the Zoom or FaceTime call through YouTube, and yeah, you can hear his perspective. And his perspective is he used to support Biden. He said he was kind of brainwashed into believing in him. But honestly, before I get into this live, if there's any Kamala Harris supporters, anyone that likes Biden or think he did a good job, please comment, because I'm really struggling to find those comments on my YouTube page, and I'm trying to make this a fair and open-minded platform as possible. But as you can tell, in the last stream, we had the classic red Trump hat on. Today we had this hat on. This black Trump hat on, but yeah, I do gotta, yeah, I know I gotta cut my hair, but yeah, we're gonna do a stream every single day, maybe even twice a day some days. I don't think we're gonna do another one today. I'll probably just do this one for like long as possible. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, thanks for joining on. I'm gonna do a review on a few of the videos. I have everything popped up already. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people saw on my comment sections too. Well, both on my comment section and on YouTube. I'm getting a lot of Trump support on there, but a lot of crazy Trump supporters are actually just spamming the comments. But we appreciate you. You know, this is our last chance before. I mean, we'll get into all of this when I show you the clips, but we're gonna break down what basically the Democratic Party caused. The Democrat Party caused a lot of issues in America, and we're going to take a look into that. But as everyone heard, I'm sure you heard, like I'm kind of repeating myself back and forth here, but Trump was at McDonald's this week, and let's just start the video off with that. Trump was at McDonald's. Yeah, I know people are going to say, oh, it's set up, it's fake, it's staged. Yeah, of course it was staged and set up or whatever, but I will say most politicians and most multimillionaires and multi-billionaires like Trump, they won't make their own fries at home. They won't make their own fries for lunch, much less go to a McDonald's and work there for 15 or 30 minutes or an hour or whatever and actually see how it is. So, I mean, that just shows you the humility he has. Not everyone would do that.
Never touched by a human hand. Nice and clean. I love salt. Wait a minute, I spilled some. I'm very superstitious. Now it's over the left shoulder. Now I'm over.
And this is their
that's thousands of people. That's
Thousands.
Hello, how are you? What a beautiful woman. Look at a beautiful child. The whole. It's like the perfect looking person. That's good. That's your compliments. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Hi, Mom.
Good luck to
Look
you.
at Mom over there. Thank you very much. Thank you, darling. You have a great mom? Good or great? That's right. She knew what to say. Thank you very much. Thank you, darling. Wow, so nice.
All right, you're doing a good job.
Okay, these are nice people we're meeting, huh?
Yes, and this is for him. So you hear one
Okay, got it. Mary, look at this guy. I'm not going to mess with him, huh? How you doing, sir? You look fantastic. Hello. Hey, boy. How are you? Your new baby. How are you?
Even the Democrats, I asked Joe Biden supporter, I asked many different people, and I asked my grandpa, which he's a Joe Biden, Kamala Harris supporter. Not even him, but everyone else, everyone I ever met, really, everyone in general. All my friends, even people that I know that love Biden and Harris, they all say one thing in common, that the prices were cheaper and the economy was doing a lot better when Trump was president. Rather, they want to say, oh, it's some like dumb excuse, like, oh, it's because Obama, whatever. I mean, I can't really think of any good things that Obama did for the economy, but I can tell you a bunch of things that Trump did. And I do know a few things good, whatever Obama did. He wasn't that good. He honestly was not. And like looking back at a lot of the supporters that supported him back then don't even like him anymore. But honestly, he was lightweight compared to the issues we're dealing with nowadays with the politicians and the Democrat party. I mean, we don't really have any. We hadn't had many options other than Donald Trump, but it seems like you guys had a lot of other people, and they were all crooked and corrupt. Rather, it was crooked Hillary or Kamala Harris, or politicians like Nancy Pelosi. Let's see, what's the next video I wanted to bring up? I have it right here. Oh yeah, I don't want to offend anyone, but yeah, we're going to be talking about some pretty sensitive political matters here. Next thing we got is U.S. announces $400 million package for Ukraine. I mean, it seems like every second that we're giving the money to Ukraine, but unfortunately, they couldn't do much more than a $700 check for all the hurricane victims in the USA. So like the most they could get is 700, and then that's if they qualify. Some people got their whole house destroyed, everything, lost everything, got like $300. Meanwhile, every second they get billions and billions of dollars. I think this was one of the smaller packages, but still, 400 million. All that is just gonna burn and waste, because in reality, I don't think militarily, unless NATO steps in, that Ukraine will ever stand a chance against Russia. Well, I mean, that's not that controversial of an opinion. I mean, I think anyone that knows about military size is, if you understand how big Russia's military is compared to Ukraine, then it's not hard to say that they'd get crushed no matter what, unless they get help. But yeah, let me show you guys some more things. Oh yeah, also I wanted to talk about, I mean, I know people are going to say, yeah, you got to make a living, this or that. The disgusting thing about this is, I don't think if you're a prosecutor, I mean, I get that she was like a lawyer, she didn't really protect anyone that much as far as I know, or do anything like that. All she did mostly was being a prosecutor. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know her life story that well, like the back of my hand. But still, it's kind of sickening in my stomach a little bit, because I feel like business people or entrepreneurs are the only people that should be able to afford this stuff. Like, why should a politician or a prosecutor be able, like even a doctor, okay, you're helping a lot of people, you deserve a lot of money. A lot of things like that, those types of jobs, even like a contractor, you know, that makes more sense to make money. But like, come on, this is just kind of ridiculous. We gotta, this has to change. Like, this is pure corruption. Like, I mean, not only that, how does she afford all of this with her supposed, I mean, it's not low salary, it's a few $100,000, but this is a multi-millionaire type of lifestyle. I'm not going to get into that, because we can say the same thing for Nancy Pelosi. How does she make $250,000 a year, but her net worth is $250 million? It's called insider stock trading. Other than that, I've never heard of anyone ever making $250K a year and having hundreds of millions. Literally, I said this in a video before, I'm more likely than heard of people making $250K a year and they never touch $1 million cash. That's what I've heard more common than people that make $250,000 a year and they like get hundreds of millions like Nancy. I mean, I guess she has a good husband or whatever, teamwork, but that seems awfully suspicious. Do your research in your own time. But this definitely deserves attention from federal authorities and the FCC. Or not the FCC, the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission. Yeah, sorry if you hear some random dogs barking in the background.
Access to healthcare is a basic fundamental civil right.
Yeah, yet the U.S. has some of the worst healthcare systems in the world. I'm honestly sick and tired. That's the number one point. I'm honestly sick and tired of hearing Democrats say about health insurance. Because literally, the U.S. is impossible to afford a health insurance. Unless you're on Medicare or you're on some kind of government support. Even if you have that, like, I know my health insurance was like $750 at one time. And then I even got government assistance. And then it went down to $250. Like $250 a month. Luckily, I don't have that U.S. insurance anymore, so it's a lot cheaper, but that was a long time ago. Well, not that long ago, but yeah. It's literally one of the worst systems in the entire world of insurance. Like, all they say is this and that. Even when Obama was president, it was just even more expensive. Like, it was just even more expensive. He just try to make a thing for free health insurance for all, but in the end, it just ended up giving like extremely poor people that don't even work insurance, and everyone else that does work, they had to pay a lot more. Basically like that. Like that's what socialism sometimes can be. At least it was in this case, and I don't really agree with it. In this scenario. Alright, let's see what else we can see. Oh yeah, we saw that. No, I'm not into conspiracy theorists or anything, but yeah, let's check out some Alex Jones. We always love that man Alex Jones because sometimes he doesn't get things right, but honestly, I think he's pretty spot on. And also, this is our last chance, guys. 15 days. A lot of people already did early voting. Go out and vote. Go out and vote. And yeah, especially if you're in a swing state, that's really key. Michigan, anywhere up north really. Wisconsin, any places like that. Arizona, Vegas, all of those places. Go out and vote. You know who you're going to vote for, right? If you like Camilla and Biden, please tell me why in the comments. This is supposed to be... I was honestly trying to attract some liberals. Why does my page attract so many Republicans? Oh yeah, I was going to show you some of her 4 houses, which are worth 2 houses in California, 1 in DC, which are worth about $8 million. Wow, $8 million. That is a lot of money for homes. I don't even know, I don't understand what they even said in the article. They said a few of them were worth $8 million, or one of them was worth $8 million. But yeah, this is the vice president's house. This is where Camilla Harris is at when she tells you guys, yeah, I'm from the middle class. I'm from the middle class America. I mean, we all know that Trump is in it, but at least he's not hiding and lying about where he's from. And he honestly worked with a lot of middle class people and gave them jobs. He can understand them a little bit more. Like, even though that she says she does, we talked about this a lot in the last video, so let's not get into it again here. I broke down how Camilla wasn't really middle class, etc., etc. But at least, you know, Trump isn't really lying about that. To be fair, it would be hard to be a poor middle class president, because how are you going to get the millions to support the campaign? I'll show you another one of her houses. No, this is one of her condos, I guess, where she lives at. Very funk. Paid $1.7 million for an apartment. Wow. $1.7 million, huh? From putting people in jail and prosecuting people for non-violent offenses a lot of the times. Really interesting. Oh yeah, and she bought another condo for $500,000. It's 1,000 square feet in San Francisco. Surprised she would buy it there in 2004 when she literally planned to ruin the city. Not even too much longer. But if she still owns this, it says she does. So this is probably worth about minimum $3 million now. It was $500,000 in 2004. Now that sounds kind of crazy, but it is in the heart of the South of Market. I don't know where that is, but I'm just reading what it says. Okay, now that wasn't even the main thing I'm going to show you. Now the next thing is that we got to talk about is the economic situation. Like how the world's economy, honestly, the markets are kind of propped up a little bit right now, and I feel like it's all fake. And I think what Alex Jones is about to say about a massive bank failure or a black swan event might be true, because I mean, the market is obviously doing way too well for what's going on. Maybe that's because sometimes the market already predicts who's going to become president. My guess is the market's swaying towards Donald Trump right now, so maybe that's why the stock market's not doing too... I mean, maybe that's why the stock market is doing very well right now, because of that factor. But let's be realistic here. Trump can't save the world from everything. He's not Superman. He can still get elected and the whole economy can crash due to how bad it is right now. Now, I think he's our best shot at ending the war, and I do kind of feel like it's inevitable. That's another word that's seen time after time, that there'll be a war, World War III, unfortunately. I think there'll be a World War III, if we don't get a good negotiator. We need a high level business negotiator to get the violence off the table. But yeah, let's listen to this Black Swan event or whatever that Alex Jones is talking about. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. This is actually some real predictions with real economic proof, with real financial experts. We're not going to watch the whole video though, because it is 51 minutes. And yeah, I'm not even going to stream for 51 minutes today. Maybe. We'll see.
And again, this is on the Federal Reserve site. This is all over the news. You can type this headline and you'll get mainstream news with this headline. Update, collapse is coming. Unrealized losses at U.S. banks are 7 times at least, because they hide a lot of them, higher than the 2008 financial crisis. So you understand what that means. It means the banks have already gone belly up. The public just hasn't been told this yet. And so we don't want this to come true. But we have a responsibility to tell you it's already happened. Basically, the economy is a zombie, and now the big money's pulled.
Like I said, I really do believe the economy is a zombie. Like I said before, I know lots of people, all kinds of people from different classes. I know people that are just getting by, like people that just work a 9 to 5. They just barely can support themselves, or they can't even support themselves. They need family help. I know those people, and I also know the people that own the businesses and that are the multimillionaires. But the main thing that's being, all of them are dealing with the same issue, because the people at the bottom, like multiple of my friends that work the 9 to 5 jobs and just work regular jobs, are telling me, yeah, bro, unless they work for, even if they work for a big corporation, they're like, yeah, bro, unfortunately, the business is doing really bad right now in terms of sales. It is getting a little bit better because it's going into the later months of the year. Normally the economy expands a bit harder, like in, October, November, December. Those are the best months of the year for sales and business. But in the last couple months of the first 10 months of the year, they told me it was really rough on them and their business, and they barely survived. And either their business barely survived, they didn't make any profit, or they just barely kept their job. Like their boss fired a bunch of people and they just barely kept their job. They're just lucky.
Another $70 billion.
And I do believe the bank has a lot of unrealized losses as well. I do think that's true. This is from the Civil Defense News.
Out in just the last few weeks. So the rush to the exits has begun. Dr. Elliott, you don't like to put exact time frames on it, but I asked you a few weeks ago, when is it happening? You said, it's here. You said, I expect it to begin the next few weeks. I don't see how long this can go now without it becoming just household information.
Yeah, I don't either. When we talked about that a few weeks ago, it's like, okay, I think it could happen before the election, which is 15 days away.
Absolutely. Something big will happen before the election. That is the scary thing. Something big was supposed to happen this month, and something big was supposed to happen before the election. And the most scary thing about that is that nothing has. Nothing has happened. It's been too quiet. I understand when it's too quiet. That means something big is about to happen. News hasn't been too crazy. It's really quiet. It's just about the political campaigns, and it's about the presidential election. It's a little too quiet, and we're going to find out why here in a second.
But I think certainly by the end of the year, you're going to see something big, whether it's a black swan event, whether it is a big bank failing, and this movement in silver will cause one of the big banks to fail. And I think probably, I don't know which big one, but there's 5 of them that I would be very suspect with: JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, HSBC. All of these have...
I really don't want to should I say which one I think is going to go? I really don't want to say it. I really, really don't want to say it. You want to know why I don't want to say it? Because I know people that bank there. All right, fine, I'll say it. I think it's going to be Bank of America. Out of all the ones he listed, I think it'll be Bank of America. I don't know their financial statements or their financial reports, so that's really hard to say. And also, unrealized gains aren't going to be on paper, so you're not going to know, because they're called unrealized for a reason. But I don't know. I would be hard to say. Don't put all your money in one bank. I would be hard to believe that you should do that.
have massive amounts of silver shorts. And I think this is why Putin is behind it and buying silver, so it causes the price to go up. But when you look at it, that's the immediate, right? When you look at the more of the long term, and you hear Kamala's talking points about how Bidenomics is great and they're happy with Bidenomics, it's like, how could you be? Right? Because so look at this.
How could you be? Seriously. Are you just that rich you don't notice it? We need to vote Trump. This is our last chance to get the economy good and to get us out of World War III. Otherwise, the banks are going to crash and World War III is going to come. Your kids and grandkids are going to be sent to die for Ukraine and other bullcrap countries. That we don't know those people. We do know those people, but that's not American soil. We need to protect the homeland.
Accessible when people need to know, but I don't think you have much hope of reaching the public.
I 100% understand that people are people. Everyone deserves freedom and life and liberty, but the reality is that we can't go around funding wars around the world trying to save people. That's not a good way to go about it. That's a lot of people's criticism about America.
Like, that doesn't have a professional need to know.
I completely agree with that. I almost think you'd scare the public if you put this out. Like, why are they telling me this? Should I be concerned about my bank?
Yes.
Like, my insurance company doesn't tell me what they're doing with my assets. They just assume.
You have to understand the banking system. That's the number one thing to understand. The FDIC. I'm pretty sure, don't check me if I'm wrong, but the FDIC, I think, insures each bank account $250,000. And there's an ambulance passing by. Sorry about all the noise. Yeah, it insures your bank account $250,000 per account. I mean, I don't have any money, so I don't know. Don't ask me. So I'm just giving you knowledge right now. I'm not here to say much more. But it puts $250,000 in a bank account or whatever. You're insured. If something happens, you get scammed or the bank shuts down or whatever, it's insured by the FDIC. But apparently, I guess they only have to give you back like $1 a day. That's what I heard. Now, I could be wrong about that, but I heard that a lawyer was breaking down what the FDIC insurance really is, and it says they only have to pay you back $1 a day of your money. I'm not sure if that's true. But even if it's not true, if you have $1 million or like your retirement, $500,000, a couple million, it might not be like, each account, it only can do $250,000 with the FDIC insurance. So if you have more in your account and you lose it or the bank goes under, a scam, you're done. There's nothing you can do. That was just a little bit of a side note.
They're going to pay my claim, right? I think you've got to think of the unintended consequences of taking a public that has more full faith and confidence in the banking system than maybe people in this room do, that we want them to have full faith and confidence in the banking system. They know the FDIC insurance is there. They know it works. They put their money in, they're going to get their money out. So there's a select crowd of people that are in the institutional side. And if they want to understand this, they're going to find a way to understand this. There's a bunch of law firms represented in this room. There's a bunch of people that will charge them by the hour a lot of money to explain this all to them. And it's fine. I don't have a problem with that. And they all have huge staffs. But I would be careful about the unintended consequences of starting to blast too much of this out in the general public.
That's kind of why I say 16 days, because it's not 15 days really. It's 16 days, but technically it's 15 days and 6 hours. So now that you can see that means go out and vote.
15 days, the most important election in world history. I am your host, Alex Jones. Very honored and blessed that you've joined us tonight. Remember, listeners, when you decide to share the links from Infowars.com.
No doubt. I don't think there'll be another election that matters as much as this. Like, not 10 years, not 20 years, not 30 years, not 40 years, not 50 years, not 60 years, not 70 years. When I'm 100 years old, if there's an election then, I don't think it'll matter as much as now. Like, this is going to be the big separation in history. Because if we get another Democrat, we might never ever see another. That might be it. Well, that's all we'll ever have.
Sports Live show, the live broadcast, and the other broadcasts we do from band.video from the live show section and from Real Alex Jones on X, as well as the new system we're working with some great folks, the Alex Jones Network, AJN Live, at AJN Live on X. Be sure and follow that as well. That is critical no matter what happens to InfoWars to keep track of where we are and what's going on. That's an action item at AJN Live on X. Be sure and follow that and tell folks to follow that, because we are not intending to let them in 24 days, if InfoWars is shut down at auction, to be able to stop what we're doing. So even if you can't support by buying incredible products, thealexjonestore.com or other sponsor, drjonesnaturals.com.
Support Alex Jones.
Safe haven as treasuries face risk from soaring U.S. debt. Bank of America. And I've got more big banks and the communist Chinese, and they've all been secretly buying it up. India was buying it secretly. We told you about that a year ago. Now it's all admitted, and now they're saying, oh, look for the biggest consumer boom ever as consumers discover all this. But Kirk Elliott, since he was on Friday, things are getting very...
Trust me, the Consumer Reports have to be wrong, because it's going to be hard to get anyone to buy anything when prices are this high.
Intense now, so instead of having them on once a week, every 2 weeks, we have them almost every day. We're going to go...
I would go to the U.S., I would literally buy $60. But like here, where I am living right now in Barcelona, Spain, with $60, I can get like groceries for a week. So that just shows you the price difference.
He was on 48 hours ago. Or I guess technically 52 hours ago he was on with us. On Friday. Here it is. We're going to go over this whole stack, and we've got videos and everything else, but things are moving quickly. So since you were with us on Friday...
Yep, assets like gold will keep going up.
Dr. Elliott, tell us about the new situation and what's unfolding, as things are moving, as you said, very quickly.
Very quickly. I mean, this might be the most important financial show we've ever done, because the banks are about to fail. And we've talked...
Okay, in all honesty, I'll just stop with this clip now. I mean, I like Alex Jones or whatever, but this is obviously a promotional marketing thing with this dude at this point. But he does have another video that's really interesting. I wanted to pull it up. This is what this tweet says.
It was confirmed yesterday morning by the White House that indeed...
These are all videos from Twitter, but he also has his own website, and yeah, everyone knows Alex Jones.
U.S. intelligence has Israel's battle plan shared with them by Israel to strike Iran with a heavy bombardment inside Iran and their military bases and their nuclear facilities before the election. That's sometime in the next 15 days. Now, if we knew about this Friday and the White House admitted it Saturday, do you think North Korea knew 6 days ago, 7 days ago, when they blew up the highways and roads and bridges and rail lines over the DMZ and that river between South and North Korea? Do you think when Xi Jinping, the Chinese Communist dictator for life, came out Saturday and said, prepare for total war with the West, do you think they're talking about that? Israel's plan to attack their ally, Iran. And I'm no fan of the mullahs, but they've been extremely restrained in Israel, cleaning their clock, killing their proxy leaders, just doing a show of force with some missiles that, thank God, didn't kill anybody. Remember, Netanyahu said he will do an investigation of October 7th once the war's over. Well, let's hope the world's not over by the time we find out why Israel stood down for 7 hours on October 7th, which
no
goes
kidding.
What Hezbollah did, backing Hamas. And I said it was Iran the whole time, obviously. But there's a lot of geopolitical wrangling going on right now, and the end of the old financial order is here. And so Russia and China and the BRICS wanted to be their new cashless central bank digital currency, social credit score. And the United States, what's left of the British Empire and Europe, the Anglo-American establishment, the Five Eyes, have got their plan. And what happens in history in World War I and World War II and big wars before that, when big financial interests are clashing and clashing, what did von Bismarck said? He said, war is an extension of politics by other means.
While other networks lie to you about what's happening now, InfoWars tells you the truth about what's happening next.
Yeah, on that note, InfoWars is being forced to be sold by the U.S. government. They're forcing Alex Jones to sell it, but guess what's going to happen for him? He's just having his friends buy his show. So if you're Alex Jones' friend, or if you know Alex Jones and you have a bunch of money, go to his show and, buy the assets for him. They're selling each one, like the name separately, the website, etc., etc. But yeah, he's an interesting guy. He's a little bit of a nut job and a conspiracy theorist, but he's said a lot of things that have become true. And he says a lot of things that people don't want you to say or hear.
The DMZ and that river between South and North Korea? Do you think when Xi Jinping, the Chinese Communist dictator for life, came out Saturday and said, prepare for total war with the West, do you think they're talking about that? Israel's plan to attack their ally, Iran. And I'm no fan of the mullahs, but they've been extremely restrained in Israel, cleaning their clock, killing their proxy leaders, just doing a show of force with some missiles that, thank God, didn't kill anybody. Remember, Netanyahu said he will do an investigation of October 7th once the war's over. Well, let's hope the world's not over by the time we find out why Israel stood down for 7.5 hours on October 7th, which doesn't lessen what Hezbollah did, backing Hamas. And I said it was Iran the whole time, obviously. But there's a lot of geopolitical wrangling going on right now, and the end of the old financial order is here. And so Russia and China and the BRICS wanted to be their new cashless central bank digital currency, social credit score. And the United States, what's left of the British Empire, and Europe, the Anglo-American establishment, the Five Eyes, have got their plan. And what happens in history in World War I and World War II and big wars before that, when big financial interests are clashing and clashing, what Von Bismarck said, he said, war is an extension of politics. Promise they are. And, he said, when the time is right, they'll decide. And pull those clips up the last few months. Oh, we will strike Iran proper. That is the nation of Iran. But we'll pick the time in the best way. Probably said it 10 times I've seen him on TV say it. Hell, he said it to Congress. But would that be enough? Now, Karl von Clausewitz, that's another one that said it.
Good quote.
Another German statesman. But the point is that enough to get Xi Jinping to say prepare for imminent war? Probably, because of the defense agreements they've got, both Russia and China with Iran, that if it's struck proper, they would then respond. But what else would do it? Well, it broke a week ago in Bild, most respected publication in Germany. And by that, most corporate media is not very respectable, and Bild still puts out social propaganda, but when they report news, it's usually accurate. And Bild talked to senior NATO and EU diplomats that said that NATO's looking at basically giving nuclear weapons to Ukraine in the next 2 weeks so they can threaten to use them on Russia if Russia doesn't leave. And that, oh, don't worry, there's plausible deniability because they can just say that because of the nuclear reactors that Ukraine has, that they could build their own. Wink, wink. Kind of like when the West got caught blowing up Nord Stream pipeline a few years ago, they now blame Ukraine. They need that plausible deniability. Like China has always, just come out in policy reports, said they would use North Korea as the trigger on the world stage, a conflict there to launch nuclear war, total war, just like they did back during the Korean War in the 50s.
Scary stuff.
And that was a war between the United States and China, and we're still at war. It was just a ceasefire. Zelensky calls for nukes, then denies nuke plan, but Hungary believes he will trigger nuclear war, World War III. Here's the headline.
Yeah, Hungary is really progressive. I like them. Shout out Hungary.
Right. First Ukraine nuke ready in weeks, Bild reports. So Zelensky a few weeks ago saying, I'm going to have nukes soon. I'm going to get nukes. And then I was like, no, we don't have nukes. We're not getting nukes. And I've told you for years, Saudi Arabia has nukes, Iran has nukes, now South Korea wants nukes. They're handing them out like hotcakes. Israel still claims they don't have nukes. They've got thousands. That's been confirmed. That goes back to JFK.
Vice President Harris and I
around that
grew
time
up
they
middle
got
class.
63. So you talk about a Mexican
Guys, that was
standoff.
another
That's where everybody's
video I'm
pointing
trying
guns
to
at each
play.
other. Nobody wins. That's mutually assured destruction. So look at this overhead shot right here.
Or let's pause that for a second. I kind of want to just separate for a second because apparently, breaking news, Tim Walsh's new clip.
Vice President Harris and I grew up middle class. We understand that. She actually worked in a McDonald's. She didn't go and pander and disrespect McDonald's workers by standing there in your red tie and take a picture. His policies are the ones that undermine those very workers that were in that McDonald's, whether it's home ownership, health care, reproductive rights, or cost of products. So there's more work to be done.
I think we all agree that cost of products were more under Biden. And second off, no, he doesn't threaten them. And third off, Camilla never worked at McDonald's. Show us proof McDonald's even said she didn't.
But just to be very clear, nothing Donald Trump is proposing does anything about the middle class. And every economist, Moody's themselves, talked about what it would do to drive up inflation, potentially leading us to recession. So there's more work to be done. We acknowledge that.
We are in a recession. This guy is clueless. He's not middle class either. He makes a lot of money. I think he grew up more middle class than Camilla, but whatever.
I think the vice president's proposals
He's
are
still
real.
rich
They make
now.
a difference, and we need to continue that. Vice President Harris and I.
People will say, no, he makes a small salary, $150,000 a year. That ain't small. Plus all his other stuff, who knows how much he really makes. It's easy to hide that kind of stuff. Back to Jones.
Chinese President Xi Jinping orders military to prepare for war. Chinese President Xi Jinping orders military to prepare for war. Xi Jinping asks troops to prepare for war as battle drills intensify around Taiwan. Xi Jinping orders Chinese troops to boost war preparedness. China's Xi calls for troops to boost war preparedness. AP, Reuters, all of it. North Korea threatens to declare war. China slams illegal U.S. sanctions. South Korea needs nukes. Leaked documents show U.S. intelligence on Israel's plans to attack Iran, sources say. CNN. Before the election, Iran warns U.S. over Israeli strikes. Iran, weakened by attacks on its allies, braces for Israeli strikes. Has Iran just tested a nuclear weapon? They had a big earthquake in the region, and the seismologist that looked at it, it's been reported all over the news, said that it looks like an atomic or hydrogen weapon was detonated underground, creating a 4.6 on the Richter scale, detected in the Siman region.
Comment down below who you guys are going to vote for. Okay, now let's listen to the Chinese president.
U.S. government leaks Israeli strike plans to Iran. That's really what happened. Great report by raw egg nationalists at Infowars.com. That really breaks it down. Netanyahu promises retaliation following assassination attempt on his home with a drone. Fox News. Hezbollah drones target Netanyahu's home. He says agents of Iran tried to assassinate me. Blowback, how Israel went from helping Hamas to bombing it. How Israel decimated Hamas and Hezbollah leadership in 3 months. Israel's historical role in the rise of Hamas. This is all mainstream news. Okay, so that's just some of what's going on there. Just to give you an idea, this is all unprecedented. This is the greatest combination of crises we've seen that even mainline historical analysts say is the
We're in the
signature
trenches, Twitter.
of a new world war. And then I mentioned this, here it is. First Ukraine nuke ready in weeks. Bill newspaper reports from diplomat sources in NATO and the European Union. And then we've got articles pushing it. Ukraine could rebuild nuclear arsenal after Clinton Obama disarmed it. Well, it was always part of Russia's arsenal, which was taken out at the end of the Cold War. And of course, they kept a few. German news publication claims Ukraine could have nuclear weapons within weeks. Germany and the UK signed a historic defense pact. Over 100 Ukrainian drones down just last night attacking Russia. Starting to see how this war is just spiraling quickly.
Yes, I do. Hit the like and subscribe button, share it, vote for Trump. It's our only sake.
Now, I don't normally play clips, but it's a short clip that are in a foreign language but has subtitles. But this is historic enough. I'm going to play it in the Mandarin Chinese. And again, TV viewers can read the subtitles, but I don't like to tell you something this big. I like to actually show you it so it's on record, kind of like the media will say, Trump said he hates all Mexicans. Where's the clip?
Where is the clip?
Doesn't exist. Trump says he used the military on citizens. Doesn't exist. Or Alex Jones said go pee on dead kids' graves. Where's the clip? Doesn't exist. So I'm not like the corporate media that tells you something but doesn't show it to you. Here is Xi Jinping yesterday addressing the combined armed forces of China, the largest military on earth, second largest navy on earth, with the third largest nuclear arsenal on earth, with submarines off our coast, saying prepare for imminent war. Here it is.
今天我和军委的一班人到军委联治中心来，就是要亮明新一届军委贯彻落实党的20大精神，全面加强练兵备战的决心和态度。
习近平强调，当前世界100年未有之大变局加速演进，我国安全形势不稳定性、不确定性增大，军事斗争任务艰巨繁重。全军要贯彻新时代党的强军思想，贯彻新时代军事战略方针，坚持战斗力这个唯一的根本的标准，全部精力向打仗聚焦，全部工作向打仗用尽。 加快提高打赢能力，坚决捍卫国家主权、安全、发展利益，完成好党和人民赋予的各项任务。
All right, so that's put out by the Chinese Communist government itself. Ukraine can build bombs in a few weeks, nuclear bombs, atomic bombs. Looks like Iran just tested one. Starting to figure out where we're going here. Down South Korea wants nukes. North Korea's threatening to attack. And people are like, well, they've been doing that for a long time. But the escalations have never gotten anywhere near this. And you don't have the West financial bubble beyond collapse. The Chinese are in total collapse, even worse than the West. That's not even disputed. This is one big war start because that keeps the regimes in power. You'd think you could throw regimes out during wars, but historically that actually props up the regimes. So why would the Biden, Harris, Obama, whoever's running things up there, deep state, legitimately, because it's come out in cables and it's been leaked over the years, and we know that John Kerry was working with Iran as a shadow ambassador when Trump was in office as president, trying to derail, Trump cutting off Iran. A large arm of the globalist system really thinks that a total war with Iran will get out of hand and that they've got enough sleeper cells in the West to actually bring things to a standstill. They'll also block those major canals where half the oil in the world goes through. And so there's a large camp doesn't want full war with Iran. And then there's another camp in the U.S. and Europe and, of course, Netanyahu that does want it and thinks they can defeat Iran. And you notice the last few months, Israel's really destroyed the forces and proxies in 4 different countries around Israel. And they've taken out the leaders of all those groups. And so Iran's tentacles have been cut off, and that has emboldened Netanyahu. And so, read the documents. They're on Infowars.com. They're all over the news. That Israel is telling the Pentagon they're planning to hit before the election in the next 15 days. So I believe the Biden administration, the people running it, did leak this information. They're confirming it's real. See, if it was real and then they denied it, that means they didn't want it out. But they're, of course, famous leakers. Now, here's another piece of why this is happening. You can look these numbers up that are Kirk Elliott's going to go over this with us coming up the next hour, and all the other big economic developments. They're some of the most intense ever.
All right, guys, check that out on your own time. Not everything Alex Jones says is 100% correct, but I just wanted to give a few of his clips since I haven't shown it much in any of my podcasts. But definitely check out my video with one of my friends that I'm doing the podcast with. He was born in America, so he's going to give you guys a really good perspective on his parents are immigrants. He was born in America. He's going to give you guys a really good perspective. He'll tell you about his story and why he kind of changed. He voted for Biden in the last election. He'll tell you why he changed for Trump. But comment down below, like and subscribe, and let me know who you're voting for down below. Thanks for joining the live stream, and talk to you guys later. Peace.